leaving that anyway.
I felt it was disrespectful to the victims, the survivors, and to the family who was grieving the loss of the other firefighter. Initially, I didn't. I was actually shocked. I didn't want to be impulsive and reply from an emotional place, so I had to distance myself for a bit and think about how I wanted to acknowledge it, and it took about 3 hours.
Regarding them.
I do feel that I did the best way that I could. I clarified that I wasn't disregarding her feelings and acknowledged what she was trying to say and reciprocated my point from an empathetic and compassionate point of view.
Okay.
No. I felt that I had a right to my opinion as much as anyone else. I come from a victim's advocate perspective. My husband's brother was shot and killed, and he's also a firefighter, so it hit pretty close to home. Absolutely. The things that were said were in the heat of the moment. It's a sensitive issue, and it's complicated, but life is too short.
But we now live in a world where whatever the format that we're using on the internet, this is how we now talk to each other. It's a new language. It's a new forum. This is our culture. This is 21st century communication. It's how it is. I stumbled upon an actual friend, someone whom I've known for a long time, and someone that I have great respect for. And usually when someone leads up like this, they say, well, I lost some respect in this situation. No, I didn't. She replied angrily, in a manner of speaking, reacted to that, and I wrote my reply too. But after a few minutes, I realized that isn't, how do I say this? It was what I want to say, but not where I wanted to say it, and not to whom I wanted to say it. So I redacted that, and then I just kept it on my own page. What she's addressing is the fact that there was a victim in that as well who was murdered, and that victim had friends, and that victim had families, and that to parade around a memorial immediately thereafter really, really spits in the face of those people who were victimized in that situation. So there's a real dichotomy there. There's a real struggle there. And it's something that we have to look at. And again, you have to look at both sides of it. You have to realize that there are people who are significantly hurting from this because they lost an icon. And for them to just, they're not all of us are going to be self-actualized to the point where we can walk away from that icon and still retain the lessons we learned.
When you talked about, redacting your statement that you had put on there, there was no going back with the conversation that came about after you were already gone from that thread. And and I would love to see those two people be able to somehow be able to come back together and be friends again, because they were really good friends.
Right.
And it's something like this that really tears people and families apart.
Right.
And that's the whole point of Destiny Moon and my alias. Is about that. It's being able to have these conversations. And when I read your stuff on Facebook, I see those conversations where it's like, no, we can have this discussion. And I appreciate that so much. The ultimate goal is to have your feelings be understood. And so can you understand your own feelings and still be able to understand the other people's feelings and have that empathy for them and be able to walk away and say, you know what, that's not the way it is for me, but I respect the way that is for you. And that's ultimately the goal. As always, I want to end with a statement by James Olivia. We are not persuaded to abandon the comfort of our fears, our hatred, and our ignorance through aggression and scolding. Shame does not elevate us, blame does not bring out our best, and contempt does not change our minds. We are hardened, not opened by hostility. One person's Spiritual evolution cannot be determined by another person's agenda, no matter how well intentioned. The worst in us is softened and altered in our own sweet time by being heard, being seen, and being met where we are. We are changed by love. Thank
Indeed.
you. Yeah. Thank you, James Luia. Thank you, Aaron.
No, thank you.
And you all have an awesome day. And please, if you have any questions, you can private message me on Facebook or through my email or on Twitter. And I would love to hear from you. And anything that you might want to discuss, I would appreciate that as well. So I love you all. Say bye.
Bye.